Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the serious strategy game, and we're returning to Rule of the Waves 2, where we are apparently very much zoomed into somewhere. Right, so we've just finished the war against the French. We have started to accumulate some money because we've just finished the construction of the first new battle cruiser, the Constitution. So that's very nice. That does leave us some money, and I think we are going to spend that money on new aircraft carrier. So let's go ahead, let's take the Saratoga as a design. Let's open this design. I think we're going to build a new ship centered around this this aircraft carrier design. So we can build large aircraft now. Let's keep in mind just how costly this thing is for now, at about 70 million. So I think what we want to do is we're going to want to get many more aircraft. 99 is pretty much the maximum that you can do without any loss in efficiency. So you know what, that's what we're going for. I think that's fine. We're going to go for 4 AA directors, maximum amount of light AA guns. What I think we can do though is dial down on the main caliber guns over here. The main calibers are nice, but we are not really expecting to be in a shootout over here. So let's go down to 5 caliber guns, and that does allow us to make them dual purpose and give us some AA. So that's going to be nice. What we're also going to do is we're going to increase the number of guns to double turrets then. All of that does somewhat leave the overall weight, I think, somewhat unaffected. Well, let's briefly check that. Yeah, ammo allowances maybe a little bit on the low side, so let's start that up to 150 or so. Still advanced directors, still 8 guns per side, but now they are capable of dual purpose firing, so they are useful in an AA role as well. And that will be a very, very good change, I believe. So yeah, let's check that. The ship design is seriously overweight though, so what we are probably going to do then is increase a little bit the displacement. So let's go basically up until we are hitting that. Although I think we also want to have higher speed ultimately, because we do want the ability to basically run away from enemy battle cruisers, so that would be lovely. That's alone 600 tons. Right, so we do need to dial up the weight further. Would that be legal? Yes, it would be. So 33,000, it's much more expensive, 19 million more expensive, but it does carry more aircraft, does carry catapults, does carry better AA equipment. Should probably dial this up a little bit as well. Yeah, it does go, we have a slight weight difference here. Now the ship is slightly overweight. We can go a little bit up over here. So the question is, now we are at 90 million sharp. So I'm wondering, how much would it cost to include a little bit of armor on our flight deck and on the hangar? So to include that, we'd obviously need to dial up this weight again, and we'd be ending up at 10 million more. So you know what, I think this is not worth it. So let's go down here again and considerably go down with the displacement as well. We could think about maybe getting rid of the engine priority over here and maybe using this as sort of a normal design. You know what, let's go for a little bit of room in the weight. Room in the weight? We are going to leave a little bit of weight remaining, so that its flotation is simply a little bit better than it would otherwise be. Could go for one more. It's not inexpensive to get a fire control position. So yeah, let's leave it as is. And that should be okay. Secondary guns, I'm fine with that. 16 guns, you should be okay. Can we dial this up, or would that result in no. Too many secondary guns. Yeah, so we do need to keep them in this configuration. That being said, I think this is a good design. Of course, the graphics over here don't quite match up, but you know what? I think that's fine. How much weight are we gaining here? 500 tons. How much weight would be gaining here? Another 500 tons. I mean, it does add up. No question about that. How about diesel? Diesel still seems to be having the higher weight, so there's pretty much no point to me at all in using diesel. And you know what? I think we're gonna call this after the Battle of the Biscay Sea. So yeah, it's simply going to be the Biscay class ship. So we are continuing to calling our ships after victories, but these are victories that we ourselves score. So this is the victory against the French that we just scored last turn. So it would take some money to develop that. That is okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. We also need to think about some ship that we could get onto our... Ooh, Constitution has finished its working up. That's nice to see. Japanese battle cruiser. Well, at least it's different. It has 9 16-inch guns, but they are configured differently. They have one in the middle over here. And they do have advanced fire control. And we've got our new dive bomber prototype, so that's extremely lovely to see. The range of these guys is somewhat low, on the low side. Maximum speed. We've got a pretty uniform loadout over here, so that's okay. So basically it's only the range and the other factors. So this guy up here is a little bit tougher, but his range is really the worst, so I don't think I want to pick it. So that does leave the question between these two. One is a little bit more maneuverable, and the other one has a little bit more firepower. And you know what? Since this is a little bit faster and has a little bit more range, I think we're going for the Boeing Air Cobra, apparently. Alright, that's fine. And we should basically check briefly the air groups, and before we do that I want to look at the almanac because I want to know how many battle carriers are actually being built right now. So Japan is building two aircraft carriers. The Akagi, don't really know much about its complement of aircraft. I know 54. Well, you know what? I think we noted in the last couple of episodes and in our last battles that our aircraft carriers don't really need to carry that many fighters. So I think what we are going to do is we are going to switch. We are changed the role of this thing here to basically... Oh, we don't have dive bombers yet? Okay, so they probably need to be introduced a little bit later, but we're probably going to change this up a little bit to include more dive bombers. And maybe slightly fewer fighters. Yeah, and that should be okay. Alright. That's fine. So, then the only question is, do we want to design maybe a heavy cruiser? Let's auto design a heavy cruiser, see what the game does come up with. Caliber 10, high speed, I appreciate that. I would like to have a Colonial ship, basically. You should be dual purpose, secondary guns. Tertiary guns, I don't think we need those. Certainly not 4. Slightly overweight, less torpedo protection. Okay, that's a valid point. Certainly want best torpedo protection that we can. Submerged torpedo tubes. That doesn't seem to be worth it, well, to me. So that might be a decent Colonial cruiser that we can put up to fulfill tonnage requirements, basically. You have an advanced director, you have a couple of positions. Seems a little bit weird to have that set up. So that's 12 guns in total. I think we could get rid of the aft superimposed and maybe increase the guns over here. So that's still 11 in total, but it's a little bit more forward facing. Yeah, this is okay still. This is 16. It's not much, still 8 per side. 2 AA directors. Do need to make the use of most of our deck space, I think. And you know what? If it's a Colonial cruiser, then I think we want at least 2 seaplanes. That should be okay. So the weight now is considerably overweight, of course. Belt extended deck. Well, this is really not good armor. It's really not. 15,000 tons. Let's say 2 aircraft and 15,500. That's a 60 million ship. That's not cheap. We're building 2 of these. If we're building 3 of these, basically we could build 2 aircraft carriers instead. Still, we do need something to protect our colonial interests by now. Huh. I'm tempted by this design, I have to admit. How about if we increase this to 20? Insufficient top space. Yeah. Can dial down on the top space. How much is a catapult? Somewhat midships. Okay, more dialing down on the top space over here. And this would be a legal design. New York, Brooklyn class maybe. I mean, this is looking a little bit weird, but it's of course only just cosmetic. The belt armor, I don't really think that's enough. You're not carrying any torpedoes. Could be carrying swivel mounts, but what we'd be using swivel mounts against, I don't want to send you up against a battle cruiser. You'd be blasted out of the earth, basically. And at 60 million, I mean, it's still cheaper and it's colonial service, so that does count for more. No, I think it's a stupid ship. Okay, so let's instead look at the Colon class, I think it is. Let's open this design. Yeah, you are also colonial service. You're a light cruiser. You are, I think, much better suited for this. If we do build an upgraded version of you, that should be okay. So, yeah, a couple of secondary guns. We can probably put you in mounts of 2. Get a couple of more of those. 12, 6 for each side. You could do with increased torpedo tubes and with torpedo reloads. Could give you an airplane. Fuel type oil. Could probably do with coal. That'd be a little bit less expensive, but not by much. Speed, I think, would still be okay. Range, all of this is still a decent ship, and it has nearly the same armor. So yeah, I think this might be okay. Oh, you should definitely be dual purpose. And you get a director down here, and maybe 16. Can we do 16? Dual purpose not allowed for triple or quadruple mounts. Okay, so if we decrease the amount of guns here and add an aft superimposed turret. How about now? Ships without, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we do need to dial down here considerably. Do want to have at least one AA director. Still, I think this is a good design. And we're actually overweight over here. No, we can't include torpedo defenses. Without the magazine box, that wouldn't really be enough. Speed, we can't really compromise on that either. Maybe a little bit more ammo. Yeah, still I think it's fine. It's a decent enough ship. I mean, it only has very light guns. It does have a couple of them. Would 18 work? Or 20, so that we have the same exact number on each side. Only if we dial down on the AA. But yeah, we would have a plane, we would have some decent torpedo launch capabilities. We would have 10 3 caliber guns on each side. So yeah, I think this is fine. Let's suggest a name over here. I basically want to call this after Colony. So we might be calling this the Tunisia class. Tunis class, of course, because we are naming them after cities. Okay, fine. Yeah, let's go ahead with this. It's going to take a couple of months to design this, but that should be all fine. Colon has finished its reconstruction, and something Germany. Yeah, let's increase tensions with Germany. And a new French battleship, 8 16-inch guns. Pretty similar setup to our own, actually. Very similar. Also advanced directors. They're copying us. Underwater replenishment, nice. Enables 6-inch dual-purpose mounts. I don't think I'll be using 6-inch dual-purpose mounts. We could, of course, redesign the ship that we just looked at and use a little bit higher dual... Yeah, well, maybe we might want to do this. So if we... Can we open this design? Okay, probably not while it's being built. Okay, so we're going to have to take wait a month, basically. And then, yeah, the Colon has finished its working up, so let's take this Colon class here. And rebuild it to the latest design as well. That does leave us with too little tonnage on Finalization, so we're going to send the Colon itself, and that should be okay. Good. Barrel classes. What's up here? You're reserve fleet. Why are you reserve fleet? You should be mothballed. Weird. Alright. Good. Good enough, I think. So what is happening here? We are rebuilding a couple of ships. Pueblo and San Diego. French medium bomber, interesting. Gradual improvement of armor quality, also nice to see. Increases gun range, that's nice to see. And yeah, no, we should send a diplomatic note. And let's have a look at the design. Close this. And what happens if we go here? Okay, so... Other than that though, this would be still considered a legal design, and you would have dual-purpose guns, and they would be a little bit better. So the gun data over here, let's simply look at this. So at maximum range of 15,000, you would penetrate you'd penetrate an inch of deck armor, and at minimum range, you'd still be penetrating 6 inches. And that does drop off considerably. So yeah, maybe these would be better. Slightly more expensive though. So 25 million, and this is already 10% more expensive. Is that worth it? Just for the slightly better guns? I think so. Yeah, it's going to take a month, but it should be alright. Next turn. Soviet AV. They're building AVs? Interesting. Flying boat. Yeah, nice. Better speed. Heavy bomb load the same. Range a little bit improved. And the latest Tunis design is ready to be built. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's build that. I think building 2 of those should be sufficient at this moment. And the Biscay is ready for construction. Do we want to rework the design? Don't think so. Everything seems to be fine with you. So yeah, let's build a ship. The Biscay. We probably can only spend the money for one. Well, we don't really have the money for one even. But I think ideally I would like to get 2 of those at the same time. The Ranger, we of course call that after the battle in the Philippines that we won. Yeah, but we're bleeding severely. We're bleeding quite a bit of money now. So let's hold the Ranger for a second over here. That should be fine, because I think, given the level of tensions over here, what we probably need to do is set up a couple of our guys from... So all of you, I think, should go to Reserve Fleet. All of you guys should go to Active Fleet. These mothballed destroyers on the East Coast, let's put them in reserve, so on a slightly higher readiness. The Clevelands, I think we are going to activate them, and we are going to activate our older battleships over here. We might actually want to check whether we do need to upgrade anything on the California itself. Advanced Director, 16-inch guns. Could do with slightly more AA. Caliber 8 guns down here. You're fine. No. All of that still looks fine. Just for the AA, we won't upgrade this. And for the Arizona, you have AA directors, so that's alright. 15 caliber guns. Caliber 4 here. But yeah, you do have a director and its dual purpose. And caliber 3, probably might want to... So that would be 2.6 million. If we drop these guys and we increase these guys here slightly, that would still give us a little bit better ship, I think. What if we go to 15? I mean, this is starting to look a little bit expensive. But at least we have dual purpose guns. Slightly overweight. Rounds per ammo? I don't think we want to skip on that. Wait a minute, what design is this? This is not our design. Oh no, sorry, these are the older classes. Yeah. No, I just don't see it. Don't see how this could be much better. I mean, it's a little bit expensive to rebuild as well, so no, I don't think that's okay. Right, foreign station, you're on reserve fleet, that's okay. Reserve fleet, that's okay. So we are mobilizing quickly, slowly. I think I want to do elite pilot training over here, and that should be okay. And we should also relook at the air groups of the Saratoga, and maybe change the role of these guys to be, well, still no dive bombers. So that's something to consider. Let's change the role anyway. Towards torpedo bombers then. And the same on the Langley, of course. Change role to torpedo bombers. That still does leave us with 40 or so fighters on each of these guys, but I think it's a worthwhile shift to be making. On these light cruisers, no, I think it's okay. Right, so most likely war against Germany. Let's go for low there. England, that would be very interesting. Japan is pretty much a non-existent threat at this moment, but we might get into a coalition war, and that would be interesting too. Right, let's see. Let's take a single turn over here. Wait a minute, why are you considered obsolete? You are truly an obsolete ship. You truly are. Well, we are reconstructing the Colon itself. In 2 months we are going to get these light cruisers for colonial duty at some point as well. At that point we're probably going to finish up some of the other ships. Losing 2 million per turn still. Yeah, but in 5 turns we are going to get the independence. And that should help us out immensely. And we might also want to think about the Barry class here. You are okay, you're slightly overweight. It would be nice to get dual purpose guns on you. Yeah, but you're starting to show your age. Can't really do that much with you. It's nice to have... Ooh, still coal-fired as well. Rounds per gun, central firing only. Yeah, these guns are not that great. No AA whatsoever. Should we convert you towards anti-submarine warfare vessels? So just increase that. At the cost of what? Yeah, at the cost of what exactly? Can't do with that many or that few. Well, we could delete a swivel mount over here. Maybe increase the tubes on the remaining one. Dial down on this. 500,000. That's not much. Would be costing us quite some time, but at least it would be good at anti-submarine warfare duty. Ooh, but we'd also want to have increased TC storage, and that now really kills the weight. So we'd probably have to delete the torpedo mounts entirely. Still, it would be a good anti-submarine warfare platform. Fairly cheap. Also somewhat cheap to operate. Maybe we're going to do that. For now we do have quite a couple of these guys, so maybe that's going to be alright. I mean, you already have an anti-submarine warfare capability of 5. As do these Kingfishers though. And they're even cheaper, so yeah, no. I don't think that's a worthwhile decision. Next turn. Ooh, German Graf Zeppelin. 53 aircraft. 16 5-inch guns. Somewhat similar design to us then. Lots of guys over there. Somewhat similar deck armor. 31 knots. They're actually going for a faster speed. And they're smaller. They're much smaller. Considerably smaller. But yeah, then again ours are now carry twice as many aircraft. Faster than our fastest dive bomber. Just out of curiosity, so this guy should be active, no? Haven't you sort of finished your design? Can we go for air groups and maybe just have a look at the Saratoga and just can we add an air unit? Okay, can we change the numbers here to 9 and see whether we can add an air unit? Torpedo bomb? No. No dive planes. Interesting. Oh well, it's going to probably take a little bit more time to do that. Explosive shells, Italy. No. Still not going to sell anything. Flying boat, another up. Sorry about that, but I had to put a little bit of cut in here. Right, still. Yeah, I was about thinking. So yeah, the Martin F it keeps on reappearing. I'm always naming it obsolete, and they are always doing this. Cannot buy this, so still. So by the way, I want to find out, by the way, just for a short time here. So the flying boat, yeah, your range is really superior. Only the medium bombers really can compare against that. But the medium bombers can also carry a big bomb load. Well, you're carrying 2,000. So that's okay. Breakthrough. Torpedo Protection 4. Oh my. Oh my. Torpedo Protection 4. Does that mean... So we are now 4 months or so into the construction of the... Sorry, I probably need to open it. Into the construction of the what? Of the Biscay. So if we open this and if we gave it torpedo protection 4, this would be a much better aircraft carrier. We'd be losing about 4 months worth of time that we have invested already, and you'd be a little bit more expensive as well, of course. Ooh. But other than that, it would be much better. What do you think, guys? Should I hold the construction? It's only been 4 months on the Biscay, so we might want to scrap them and just rebuild them towards this new torpedo protection design. Because a lot of the times, my thinking is a lot of the times our aircraft carriers will not be in battle against battleships. They will be attacked by other aircrafts. Other aircrafts can be bombers, or, and I think that's the still predominant threat, torpedo bombers. So torpedo defense is, to me, really important. So you know what? I think we do need torpedo defenses. I think this would be a very good thing to pick. So yeah, I think we're going to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a cut here. And yeah, so please do comment and let me know what's your thoughts on this. Should I go for rework over here, or will I get into an eternal loop where I rebuild and build ships all the time? Of course, we're going to finish the Independence. There's absolutely no question around that. But yeah, I don't think we're going to build many more battleships. That it just seems to be past its time. So, that being said, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.